Elaine Stritch dropped a bombshell about the Golden Girls right before she passed away. Now, imagine our actor riding high on praises from Joel Thurm, a top casting director from New York, poised to snag a role in a CBS comedy. He lands in L.A., chilling at the swanky Bel Air hotel with his agent, calming his nerves with a couple of beers before the big day. The audition room is packed with CBS bigwigs, and he tries to connect with a scriptwriter who looks straight out of a Doris Day movie, but she's not buying it. He praises her script and confesses to tweaking his lines a bit to make them pop, earning laughs from the execs, but only a cold glare from her. What's lurking behind her cold stare, especially after the shocking secrets Elaine Stritch revealed? The protagonist, filled with a hopeful certainty, was on the cusp of securing a role in a new CBS comedy, a position buoyed by commendations from Joel Thurm, a distinguished casting director based in New York City. This assurance compelled a journey from New York to Los Angeles, landing at the iconic Bel Air Hotel where the protagonist's agent awaited. The meeting was casual, marked by a few beers to soothe the nerves before facing the critical hours ahead. The venue for the audition was teeming with influential figures, CBS executives and the key decision-makers for the show. Among them was the scriptwriter, a woman whose hairstyle paid homage to Doris Day, exuding an aura that did not seem welcoming towards the protagonist. In an attempt to bridge the apparent gap, compliments flowed freely from the hopeful actor towards the scriptwriter, praising the undeniable quality of her script and sharing the personal challenges faced during auditions, particularly the propensity to slightly alter lines. The protagonist's admission led to a swift interrogation from the scriptwriter about the extent of these alterations. Eager to illustrate, an example was provided using a scene from the script, suggesting a dramatic pause that deviated from the written dialogue. This modification entertained the CBS executives, drawing laughter, yet the scriptwriter's expression remained unamused and impassive. Despite the protagonist's efforts and the initial optimism, the role, a character envisioned to start anew in Miami alongside friends and family, remained elusive. The audition ended without success, leaving the protagonist to ponder the weight and potential of the opportunity that had just slipped away. The missed opportunity was a profound disappointment. It could have led to earnings of $35,000 to $50,000 per episode for the initial 13 episodes. The potential for what might have followed was vast. The show itself burgeoned into a global phenomenon, securing worldwide syndication and yielding impressive residuals. However, the true depth of the setback was not merely financial. It also cast a shadow over aspirations, compelling a retreat to New York. There, the familiarity of the stage served as a temporary solace, while dreams of television stardom were shelved, awaiting a future revival. This pause marked a period of reflection and resilience, as aspirations were reevaluated and the commitment to a craft was reaffirmed. It's been nearly 40 years since The Golden Girls first aired, forever altering the landscape of TV comedies. It's hard to believe, right? The past decades have seen countless shows, but The Golden Girls remains timeless. We may think we know everything about this classic series, but there are still many surprises left to uncover. Think of the thrill of surprising someone with something completely unexpected, like a sudden twist in a story. That's the kind of unexpected fun that kept fans glued to their screens. The Golden Girls featured 4 spirited older women living their best lives, supported by a talented cast and crew. But behind the laughter and charm, there were many stories untold. At first, Betty White was meant to play Blanche, but she ended up as the sweet and naive Rose Nyland instead. This change forced her to rethink her whole approach to acting. Before she became Rose, Betty White was already a star, especially for her role as Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Sue Ann was bold, witty, and a little mischievous, showcasing Betty's sharp comedic skills. However, the producers of The Golden Girls did not want to cast her in a similar role again. So, they decided to mix things up. They cast Betty as Rose, a kind and innocent character to show a different side of her talent. And it worked beautifully. This change allowed her to portray a character loved for her honesty and warmth. The contrast between Rose and Sue Ann demonstrated Betty's ability to adapt, making Rose one of the most unique characters on TV. But there was more to this story. Betty took on this challenge with full enthusiasm, adding depth and humor to Rose. Her commitment to making Rose a lovable character solidified her place as a cherished actress. Casting her in this role turned out to be a brilliant move, proving her ability to win hearts with her versatility and charm. Despite her deep doubts, Estelle Getty's performances remained flawless. She portrayed Sophia with sharpness and sincerity, masking her inner struggles. This striking difference between her private fears and public success showcased her remarkable talent and professionalism, etching her name into television history. Behind the scenes, Bea Arthur gave life to the character of Dorothy, with her strong presence and distinctive voice. Her tall figure and signature earrings became a hallmark of her role. Yet, there was something few people knew. Bea Arthur didn't have pierced ears. At that time, pierced ears were not as common, especially in the entertainment world. So many actresses, including Bea, used clip-on earrings. Dorothy's character demanded large earrings, which meant Bea had to endure the pain of these clip-ons, notorious for their discomfort during long hours on set. By the end of each day, her ears would be throbbing, a silent suffering that perhaps added a sharper edge to Dorothy's witty remarks, reminding us that even the brightest stars have their own hidden battles. Estelle Getty was actually a year younger than the actress playing her on-screen daughter, a surprising twist to her Hollywood journey. She began as a seasoned stage actress in New York, only to transform into the beloved Sophia Petrillo. In a 1992 interview, Getty shared her initial confusion when reading the script, believing she was auditioning for the role of Dorothy. It turned out that her managers had switched her to the role of the sharp-tongued matriarch, Sophia, while she was in Los Angeles, a decision that changed her career forever. Despite her extensive theater background, playing an 80-year-old at 60 presented a unique challenge for Getty. Her performance as Sophia, however, was nothing short of extraordinary, blending grumpy humor with a warm, endearing charm. The on-screen chemistry between Getty and Bea Arthur, who played her daughter Dorothy, became a core element of the show's appeal. Getty's devotion to her character was evident from her final audition, where she fully embodied Sophia with the perfect costume and makeup. Yet, there was more to her journey. During her time on The Golden Girls, Estelle Getty's portrayal of Sophia earned her several Emmy nominations, including a win in 1988. As the series came to a close, Getty's love for Sophia was undeniable. In another interview, she expressed her deep affection for the character, highlighting Sophia's qualities as a loving, spirited, and strong woman. This sincere performance made Sophia a beloved figure among viewers and secured Getty's place in television history. Rue McClanahan, who played the unforgettable Blanche Devereaux, also left a lasting mark beyond the screen. Reflecting her love for Blanche's lively personality, McClanahan brought elements of her character into her own life, showing how deeply she connected with the role she played. Yet, there was something unique about McClanahan's involvement in The Golden Girls. When she signed on for the show, she had a special condition in her contract allowing her to keep all the outfits created for Blanche. This allowed her to maintain a connection to her character long after the series ended. But it wasn't just about the clothes. McClanahan also collected various props, keepsakes, and memorabilia from her time on the show. She hoped to share these cherished items with the fans who adored the Golden Girls. This gesture not only showed her appreciation for the audience, but also highlighted the show's lasting impact on television history. When McClanahan passed away in 2010, the world felt a deep loss, and her absence left a void that seemed impossible to fill. But this wasn't the end of her story. Her close friend, Mark Laro, found a special way to keep her memory alive. He created a website where McClanahan's friends and family could select personal items from her collection to remember her by. The remaining memorabilia, including Blanche's iconic wardrobe and other significant items, were made available for fans to purchase. What made this initiative truly special was McClanahan's commitment to giving back. The funds raised went to causes she deeply cared about. This act of generosity ensured that her spirit of kindness continued to touch lives even after her passing. But her influence extended even further. McClanahan's belongings continued to support the charitable causes she believed in, adding to her legacy of compassion and generosity. Fans fondly remember the scenes of the four Golden Girls around the kitchen table, sharing laughs and cheesecake. But have you ever noticed something peculiar? There were only 3 chairs at that table. This wasn't a mistake. Director Terry Hughes explained it was done on purpose for technical reasons. The cameras needed to capture every expression without anyone turning their back to the audience, so they chose to leave out a 4th chair. This small detail shows the thoughtful care that went into every moment of the show. Yet, this wasn't the only interesting choice made for the show. Hughes compared the seating arrangement to finding a seat on a bus. Once a character sat down, that was their spot. Dorothy, played by B. Arthur, often sat in the middle, while Rose and Blanche, played by Betty White, and Rue McClanahan, would alternate sides depending on the scene. Sophia, portrayed by Estelle Getty, frequently chose a stool over a chair, reflecting her quirky and defiant personality. This choice added a unique dynamic to the group, making each scene more memorable for the audience. Off the screen, McClanahan and Arthur's lives were not as glamorous as their characters. McClanahan once spoke about the complexities of her relationship with Arthur. Despite their great chemistry on camera, they were not close in real life. She described Arthur as a complex person whose quirks made their relationship more layered and intriguing. McClanahan also mentioned that Arthur often preferred the company of Betty White during lunch breaks, hinting at the unique dynamics that existed among the cast members. Arthur generally felt more comfortable with those she knew well. Yet, despite their personal differences, both actresses remained highly professional during filming. The interactions between Blanche and Dorothy on screen captivated viewers with their witty dialogues and evident tension. This contrasted sharply with their off-screen relationship, demonstrating their ability to set aside personal feelings for their performances, which brought joy to audiences for many years. Bayard Arthur and Betty White were stars who shared the screen on The Golden Girls, where their undeniable talent and chemistry lit up the show. However, behind the scenes, their relationship was far more complicated. They had different ways of working, leading to a dynamic that was both unique and challenging. Betty White, known for her warm and friendly nature, once revealed in a 2011 interview with Joy Behar that she felt Arthur didn't like her. This left White puzzled. She couldn't understand what she had done to create such tension, but she continued to admire Arthur nonetheless. Arthur's son, Matthew Sachs, shed light on this in 2016, explaining that White's sociable personality often clashed with his mother's more serious, focused approach to acting. While White would engage with the audience during breaks, Arthur preferred to remain backstage, conserving her energy for the performance. Sachs appreciated White's kindness toward fans, recognizing the effort they made to be there, but he believed his mother saw things differently, valuing a more reserved demeanor. Despite the tension, Sachs insisted there was no animosity between Arthur and White, either on or off the set. They even carpooled to work together, suggesting a camaraderie that extended beyond their professional lives. Both actresses were passionate about important causes, like LGBTQ+ rights and animal welfare, which brought them closer together and helped bridge any gaps that arose from their differing personalities. Betty White's love for game shows was another aspect of her personality that shone through on set. Before joining the Golden Girls, she had already won audiences over with her quick wit and humor on various game shows. During breaks in filming, she would often watch game shows or play spontaneous quizzes with her co-stars, injecting a sense of fun into the demanding schedule and offering a much-needed respite from the grind of filming. Even with these moments of lightheartedness, the challenges persisted. B. Arthur and Betty White's contrasting approaches to their craft created a dynamic tension that was both enriching and, at times, difficult. While their differences were apparent, their mutual respect and shared values helped forge a friendship that added depth to their on-screen chemistry. It's easy to assume that the actors on The Golden Girls were similar to their characters, but this wasn't always the case. Rue McClanahan, who played the lively Blanche Devereaux, often had to remind people that she was nothing like her flirtatious character. She even mentioned how different Betty White was from Rose Nyland, joking that Betty was much smarter than the naive character she portrayed. Estelle Getty, who played the sharp-witted Sophia Petrillo, also brought her own style to her character, even though they weren't exactly the same. Getty once suggested incorporating her Jewish background into Sophia's character, adding depth and authenticity to her portrayal. Despite these personal differences, Getty's vibrant personality and unique comedic style made Sophia unforgettable on screen. When it came to B. Arthur, McClanahan noted that Arthur's real-life persona was quite different from Dorothy Zbornak's struggles. Arthur's sharp humor and profound understanding of human nature gave Dorothy much more depth than the script alone could provide. McClanahan often humorously pointed out Betty White's intelligence again, keeping the set lively and fun. One of the most beloved traditions on The Golden Girls was the famous cheesecake scenes. These moments were more than just comedic. They became iconic, shaping how fans remembered the show. The image of the four women sharing cheesecake in the kitchen became a ritual cherished by audiences worldwide. But here's a twist. While cheesecake became a staple of the show, the actresses had varying feelings about it in real life. Betty White loved cheesecake, but never ate it on camera. This surprising fact added another layer to how viewers saw Rose whenever cheesecake was mentioned. Rue McClanahan humorously confessed that she only pretended to eat the dessert, adding a playful dimension to Blanche's already colorful character. Despite cheesecake being a central part of many scenes, Arthur didn't like it at all, and didn't enjoy filming those moments. This little-known fact revealed how dedicated she was to her craft, convincingly playing a character who seemed to love something she didn't care for at all. These stories give us a glimpse into the complex relationships and dedication behind the making of The Golden Girls. They show how the actresses' commitment to their roles created the unforgettable moments that made the show so beloved. In the 1980s, a decade known for its bold styles and cultural shifts, The Golden Girls broke new ground by featuring older women as vibrant, dynamic characters. The show addressed serious issues like ageism, sexism, and the struggles of growing older in a youth-obsessed society. During the height of the HIV/AIDS crisis, the show helped break down stereotypes and promote empathy. It addressed LGBTQ+ issues at a time when such topics were rarely seen on mainstream television. Even though the character of Coco, the gay butler, was eventually written out, his brief presence demonstrated the show's willingness to tackle controversial subjects. In its later episodes, the Golden Girls continued to handle complex topics with care and sensitivity. Storylines like Blanche coming to terms with her brother being gay, or Dorothy's friendship with a lesbian who falls for Rose, challenged audiences to confront their biases and broaden their understanding of human relationships. Through it all, the show managed to maintain a balance of humor and compassion, leaving a lasting impact on television history and paving the way for more inclusive storytelling. At its core, The Golden Girls was far more than just a comedy show. It was a pioneer, courageously addressing difficult subjects with both humor and warmth. The show's approach to tackling controversial issues and its dedication to presenting authentic, diverse characters set a new standard for television. Even today, its influence continues to be felt. For instance, many young female fans wrote letters sharing how much the show meant to them. In one interview, Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche, spoke about the many heartfelt letters the actresses received from young girls who felt trapped in tough family situations and dreamed of living with the Golden Girls. These young viewers saw their lives reflected in the relationships between Blanche, Dorothy, Rose, and Sophia. The kindness, friendship, and unwavering support the characters offered one another provided comfort to teenagers who were struggling with their own family troubles. The show was beloved not just for its humor and cleverness, but also for the sense of stability and unconditional friendship it portrayed. To these young girls, the characters felt like substitute grandmothers, offering the kind of love and understanding they so desperately needed. The Golden Girls dealt with themes like friendship, love, and the challenges of life. These themes resonated with people of all ages, reaching across generations. The fact that young girls wished to join the Golden Girls in their fictional world shows how the show created a place that felt both relatable and inspiring. McClanahan's reflections highlight the powerful impact that television can have, not only by entertaining, but also by providing comfort, a sense of belonging, and even inspiration. But what is it that continues to make the Golden Girls stand out in our memories? It's more than just a show. It's a reflection of the deeper connections we all seek in our lives. Consider the moments when the show didn't just make us laugh, but also made us think, feel, and reflect on our own lives. Beyond its engaging storylines and memorable characters, The Golden Girls became famous for featuring an impressive lineup of guest stars, adding even more appeal and cultural significance. Both established celebrities and future stars appeared on the show, creating a bridge that connected different generations of viewers. Some of these guests, like George Clooney, Jeffrey Tambor, Mario Lopez, and Quentin Tarantino, were at the start of their careers and later rose to Hollywood fame. Meanwhile, established stars like Mickey Rooney, Dick Van Dyke, Debbie Reynolds, Jerry Orbach, Fred Willard, and Burt Reynolds made appearances, bringing their prestige and experience to the series. For many young actors, landing a role on The Golden Girls was more than just another job. It was a pivotal moment that often marked the start of a successful career in television or film. Each appearance carried with it the possibility of new opportunities, and the show's influence extended far beyond its own episodes.